Hi everyone, I'm back. Part two. Part one, I did not mean to upset everyone. Oh my God, I had so many messages like, Kelly, oh my God, I was crying right along with you. I'm so sorry you're going through this. That's horrible. Like, that was not my intention at all. I'm fine. Like, that was not my intention. However, I mean, those were my two worst days. So the mammo and ultrasound day, when the radiologist said she had major concerns, and I knew. And then, of course, my diagnosis day was horrible. But those were my two bad days. Like, really, in the grand scheme of things, really, out of how many days, the 2 days, they were my worst days. And you're emotional. I mean, when you're told that you have cancer, that's what happens. So, I mean, I didn't mean to upset you, but at least you get to see, the real emotions that someone would go through. But now I'm good. Last time I was on my soapbox about self-checks, which I've had, I don't even know how many people messaged me and then put on the Facebook feed like, I did my self-check. I only did it because I watched your video and I thought, oh my God, this is why I'm doing this. That's exactly why. So I'm so happy. That makes me so happy that you all did that. So today I'm going to get on my soapbox and say, get your annual mammograms. I'm 41. So most of my friends on here are 41, and we all know that's when we need to start getting our mammos, although some doctors start at 35. But by now, you should have at least one mammo. So please call and make an appointment. I had a mammo. I was supposed to have a mammo last year. I had my script from my annual physical. I had everything, and I didn't go get my mammo last year. We had new health insurance, and we have a high deductible, so I didn't go get my mammo because I thought, I'm sure we need other things. I don't need to be spending hundreds of dollars on a mammogram because I'm fine. And here I am a year later with breast cancer. So you need to get your mammo. Would they have found mine last year? I don't know. I'm not going to live in the past. I'm going to move forward. But that's my soapbox. You need to get your mammo. If you're over 40, you should already have your mammo. So look at me, who didn't get it, and then go get yours. Please, that is why I am doing these videos. I don't like sharing my life on here, although all the support is really making me feel really good. But that's why I'm doing it. I just want to help someone out there that needs it. So anyway, go do that. And then I'll move on because now I want to show you how good I'm doing and how happy I am. So I left off, they diagnosed me. I was a mess. I'm calling Mayo. So I got my appointment with Mayo. I went to see them the next week. So Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. I met with Susan, my nurse navigator, who was awesome. She kind of explains the process. She's kind of like my point person to go to. I met with her, and then I met with Dr. Cornell, who is the breast specialist. So Susan, of course, when I got in there, I was like, did you get my test results from St. Vincent's? Did they forward them over, my receptor type? So of course she couldn't find them. I'm like, oh my God, that's all I want to know. So she left, and then she came back at any rate and said, I have them, and you're estrogen, progesterone positive. And I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, because that is the most common receptor type. There's also HER2 positive and triple negative, which are really aggressive cancers, and it just changes your treatment. EP positive is just the more common form. So I had been praying like in that time span in between. For some reason, I came across this woman on YouTube, which I am never ever on YouTube. Her video came to me. I watched her video. It was about her journey, and she was really religious, and she said, you need to pray, like, specifically. You need to tell God, like, this is what I want, not like general, like, please make me feel good, please heal me. Like, you need to be specific. So she said, like, she knew she had cancer. All right, she's not gonna pray the cancer away, she said. But what is coming up next that I can pray for? So it was her receptor type test. So she said the whole time, as I just said, she was saying, please just make it estrogen positive, please just make. So that's what I did the whole week. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do this. So I did. So when Susan said it, I was like, oh my God, it worked, it worked. God came through. So I was happy about that. When Dr. Cornell came in after I met with Susan, she really got into detail and broke everything down. So she said, you know, you're EP positive, HER2 negative, and of course I'm not triple negative. So, and it's phase 1, she said, which is great. They don't stage it until after your surgery, so they can really see the extent. So I don't know stage yet. And it's very slow growing. So they look at the biopsy cells under microscope, I guess, and see how fast they're moving, is what I got from it. I don't know if that's correct, but it's a very slow growing cancer. So that was all good news. She said, you're like in the best position. You have cancer, however, you're in a very good position. So that was great, great news. I was so happy about that. She did say, since it was in my lymph node though, that I would most likely need chemo and radiation, just so it didn't move further. We talked about lumpectomy versus mastectomy. My tumor or lesion or whatever it is, I have like 3 areas, and they keep saying they're almost contiguous, so they're kind of connected but not really. So she said that most likely I wouldn't be able to have a lumpectomy because it's just too much tissue that they would have to take, and aesthetically, like, wouldn't be good. Not that I even care about that, but she recommended at least a right-sided mastectomy. So then we discussed like a double, and I said to her, like, after going back and forth, like, well, what would you do? Because they lay all the information on the table and it's all up to you. Like, they do not tell you what to do at all. I feel like that's changed. Like, back in the day, they just did stuff. But nowadays, I guess they want us as women to have control, you know, of our health care, which is good, but sometimes you just want them to tell you what to do. So I did. I said to her, well, what would you do? Because she seemed to be my age, maybe even younger. And she was honest, thank God, and she said, if it was me, only because of your age and how young you are, I would probably opt for the double, because you have so many years ahead of you and you don't want to go through this again, which is what I was thinking already. Like, I had double, like, just take them off, I'm done. if I had to go through this again, like if I did the one and then like 10, 15 years later, I felt another lump or they found something and I had to do this all over again, I would be so angry at myself. Like, I was already put under, why didn't I just do it? So I'm doing both. I'm just doing both, recover from both, be done with both instead of doing one and then possibly doing another. She did say that I was going to go to genetics the next day to talk with him and get genetically tested for, among other genes, the BRCA gene is the most popular, but they test other genes now. She said that would be, like, if you didn't know what you were going to do, that would be a deciding factor. Like, if you come up positive, that would dictate, like, a double mastectomy. I mean, you don't have to, but I believe the chances, and don't quote me on this, I think if you're positive and you carry the gene, you have an 80% chance of developing breast cancer. So she said in most cases, women opt to just do the double. But anyway, I was gonna do the double. So we discussed everything. Trying to think of what else. So at any rate, she wanted to do more testing though. She wanted me to get an MRI with contrast and also a PET scan because of the lymph node involvement. So don't you know, before she even came in, I have an app on my phone through the Mayo Clinic, and I just happened to pull it up to see what my next appointment was. And I had like 6 or 7 appointments already set up. So at Mayo, which is awesome, they set all your appointments for you and they try to fit as many into one day as possible, which is so good because I had no idea I'd have to do all of these things. And if I had to call each place and schedule all of these tests and doctors, it would take me hours. So at any rate, that's a positive about Mayo. So I looked and I had, the very next day I had MRI at 6:45, go to the genetic doctor next, and then go to PET scan. So that was all set up for the next day. So we went the next day, had all those tests done. I had my genetic test done. I'm still waiting to hear back from that. That should be soon though, because that was a couple weeks ago. PET scan and MRI came back clear. Everything was good. No more lymph node involvement popped up on those tests. That's not to say in surgery when they remove and test. But that was great news. She was like really happy about that. So she said all of the tests that they ran came back what they expected and not worse, which is what they want. So she said, it's all good news. You're in a great position. Even though you have cancer, for having cancer, it's good. Like, be optimistic. You're going to be fine. Treat it. Done. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, like, I am good. That's what I needed. I needed to know all of the results because the not knowing is horrible. Like I said, I thought I was going to die because all they tell you is you have cancer. They don't tell you how bad it is, how involved. So that appointment calmed my nerves. I was good to go. Trying to think of what else happened. So I had the MRI, the PET scan, the oncologist. So I met with the oncologist this week, who was awesome too. I have all these women doctors, which, no offense, like, to the men, like, it's just so much better. She even had a doctor doing a fellowship with her, and he was a guy, and he was super nice and stuff. But like at one point I turned to Ray, because I'll tell you what we discussed at that appointment. I turned to Ray and just rolled my eyes, and he knew, like men just don't get it. They don't get it, and it's not their fault, but at any rate, I have a great group of female doctors. So I went to meet with the oncologist, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, she's going to tell me what type of chemo, how many rounds, like what are the side effects. Like, they know it's EP positive, so they must have, like, well, now they know, like, what do I need? So I get there, and no, like, that's not what I'm there for. She doesn't know anything. She said they don't really go over that until after my surgery, till they really, like, get the cancer out, see exactly what it is, see my lymph node involvement, and then come up with a plan, because, you know, they want to make it individualized, which totally makes sense now. But in my mind, like, I'm checking off the boxes, like, all right, I'm having surgery, all right, chemo, like, tell me all about it. So I was a little, like, disappointed, like, I don't know anything, but understandable. What my appointment was about, though, was after I met with the breast surgeon who I met with before oncology, met with her, she called the oncologist, and they discussed shutting down my ovaries before the surgery, because my surgery isn't until January. So my cancer is 100% fed by estrogen, and I think, like, progesterone might be in the 60% or something, I don't know, but 100% estrogen. So they're worried that they don't want to keep feeding it while I'm waiting for surgery, especially since it's in my lymph node. Even though it's slow growing, it's kind of like a safety net, if you want to call it that. So that took me off guard, because, you know, shutting down my ovaries, I'm going to go into menopause because I don't have enough going on. And we did discuss that with the breast specialist. Once I knew it was EP positive, at the end of my visit, you know, she said, since you are, after all your treatments, you know, we have to stop this estrogen production because we don't want to, your body is predisposed to estrogen cancer, type cancer. So tamoxifen came up, which I wasn't happy about because I've read about all the negative side effects from that. And then blocking my ovaries came up. So I would have to do both. I would either have my ovaries out or block them through an injection and take tamoxifen. And that would be for 10 years, they said. So I got anxious, and she knew once I heard all that. And she said, but we're not going to even worry about that because that is not until you're done everything. So I was like, all right, you know, good. I'm not even going to think about that. I have enough to think about. So then when I went to the oncologist, she was like, yeah, I think we got to shut down your ovaries. And that's when the male doctor, he was in before the female doctor, like getting background. And he was like typing on the computer. And I think he said something like, yeah, and, you know, we're going to have to shut down your ovaries before the surgery, you know, because we don't want to feed that tumor with the estrogen. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. And I looked at Ray like, he doesn't even, like, do you know what that is, buddy? So at any rate, Dr. Avanti, the oncologist, said, you can do tamoxifen. That was the first choice. She was really talking about the tamoxifen majority of the visit. And then at the end she said, or we could just do the estrogen block. You know, if you don't want to deal with the tamoxifen side effects, maybe we can do the estrogen block. And I said, okay, you know, and she said, I don't need an answer now. Just call me when you're ready. Or she'll call me, she said. So I thought about it and talked about it with Ray, who has been like amazing. I don't even know. He's just been so amazing. Like so understanding. he wasn't like, you need to take, I was expecting like him to say like, you need to take the tamoxifen so this doesn't spread or whatever. He's not like that. He's just like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. So I decided on, I'm just going to do the estrogen block for now. I know that I need to do the tamoxifen, and when she called me and I told her, she was like, okay, that's completely fine for right now, but you know, afterwards I do want you on the tamoxifen and the, so that's absolutely fine. I know, I just don't want to deal with it right now, with everything else. So next week I'll go in, get the injection, and go through menopause. So that's fun, right? That's fun going through menopause. But it's what I gotta do, so I'm gonna do it. So for now, I think that's it. Like, I'm waiting for my surgery day in January. They're getting their schedules together because plastic surgery has to come in at the same time as the breast surgeon, because I am having reconstructive surgery, which I don't know, I went back and forth about too. I wasn't going to have anything there, but I'll try the reconstruction. I just don't know how I feel about like toxic implants. People are getting them taken out. People are getting sick. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't need to be sick from that. So we'll see how that goes. And there's other surgeries that you can do too, not just the implants. There's different types of flaps and stuff, but it's way too, I can't be going in. That's major surgery in addition to what I'm having done. So I think that's it for now. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being so supportive. I'm so good right now. I'm positive, like it's just a bump in the road. I'm gonna get through it. Like, I'm good. I'm really, really good. I'm in good spirits. I don't know. I just want to thank you though, because all that, those messages really make me feel good too. So I'm kind of glad I did this, because it does. It makes you feel good. It makes me feel good that I'm helping people. Like, I don't know, this has turned into like some kind of blessing instead of like a curse, which is good. Like, I don't want to just be negative and like a horrible experience. I'm glad that like something positive is coming out of it. It's completely changed my outlook on life. It's making me do crazy stuff like this, be on social media talking about my life, which I would never ever do. But I feel good that I'm helping people. So go get your mammograms. Most important, right? Keep up on your health. I know, like, as women, we just like put ourselves second. I did. Like, my kids came first. Like, I just think back, like, if the doctor gave me a script for my child and said he or she needs to have this test done, you know, I would be like calling as soon as I got home. Why do we not do this for ourselves? Like, that thought just popped into my head last night. Like, we do for everybody else, but like, why didn't I just go get the test? So learn from my mistakes. Go get your mammogram. Continue to do your self-checks. Get testing if the doctor orders it, even if it's not breast related. Like, just keep up on your health, because like I said last time, oh my God, you'll be so angry at yourself. You really will. I'm trying not to be, because it is what it is. But just, you know, learn from me and go do what you're supposed to do. So that's it. I'll keep you posted when my surgery is. And I think I'm just going to continue to make these videos. Everybody seems to like the updates, so I'm going to continue to do it. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Have a nice holiday, Christmas. Enjoy. I'm so happy that I get to enjoy my Christmas this year. I was worried it was going to be before and I was going to be like a hot mess over the holidays. So I'm happy. I'll be celebrating with friends and family. So I will see you soon.